Reading from Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, 5th Canto, Chapter 17, Text 14. Navasvapi varsheshu Bhagavan Narayano Mahapurushah Purushanam Tat Anugrahayatma Tattva Vyuhenatmanadhyapi Sannidhiyate. Translation purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation: to show mercy to his devotees, in each of these 9 tracts of land, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, known as Narayana, expands himself in his quadruple principles of Vasudeva, Sankarshana, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha. In this way, he remains near his devotees to accept their service. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. In this connection, Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakura informs us that the demigods worship the Supreme Lord in his various deity forms, Archa Vigraha, because except in the spiritual world, the Supreme Personality of Godhead cannot be directly worshipped in person. In the material world, the Lord is always worshipped as the Archa Vigraha or the deity in the temple. There is no difference between the Archa Vigraha and the original person. And therefore, those who are engaged in worshipping the deity in the temple in full opulence, even on this planet, should be understood to be directly in touch with the Supreme Personality of Godhead without a doubt. As enjoined in the Shastras, Archaye Vishnu Shiladhir Gurushu Naramatihi. No one should treat the deity in the temple as a stone or metal, nor should one think that the spiritual master is an ordinary human being. One should strictly follow this Shastric injunction and worship the deity, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, without offenses. The spiritual master is the direct representative of the Lord, and no one should consider him as an ordinary human being. By avoiding offenses against the deity and the spiritual master, one can advance in spiritual life or Krishna consciousness. In this regard, the following quotation appears in the Laghu Bhagavatamrita. Padme tu parama vyomanaha purvade dik चतुष्टये वासुदेवादयो व्यूहश् चत्वारः कथिताः क्रमात् तथा पाद विभूतौ च निवशन्ति क्रमादिमे जलावृतिस्थ वैकुण्ठ स्थित वेदवती पुरे सत्योर्ध्वे वैष्णवे लोके नित्याख्ये द्वारकापुरे शुद्धोधाद उत्तरे श्वेत द्वीपे चैत्रावती पुरे क्षीराब्धि स्थितान्ते क्रोध प्रयांकधामिने सात्विते क्वचित् तन्त्रे नवव्यूहाः प्रकीर्तिताः चत्वारो वासुदेवाद्या नारायण नृसिंहाख्यौ हयग्रीवो महाक्रोडो ब्रह्मा चेति निवोदितः तत्र ब्रह्मा तु विज्ञेयः पूर्वोक्त विधायो हरिः. In the Padma Purana, it is stated that in the spiritual world, the Lord personally expands in all directions and is worshipped as Vasudeva, Sankarshana, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha. The same God is represented by the deity in this material world, which is only 1/4 of his creation. Vasudeva, Sankarshana, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha are also present in the 4 directions of this material world. There is a Vaikuntha Loka covered with water in this material world. And on that planet is a place called Vedavati, where Vasudeva is located. Another planet known as Vishnu Loka is situated above Satya Loka, and there Sankarshana is present. Similarly, in Dwarakapuri, Pradyumna is the predominator. On the island known as Shvetodvipa, there is an ocean of milk, and in the midst of that ocean is a place called Airavati Pura, where Aniruddha lies on the Ananta. In some of the Satvata Tantras, there is a description of the 9 Varshas and the predominating deity worshipped in each. Vasudeva, Sankarshana, Pradyumna, Aniruddha, Narayana, Narsimha, Hayagriva, Mahavaraha, and Brahma. The Lord Brahma mentioned in this connection is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Where there is no fit human being to empower as Lord Brahma, the Lord himself takes the position of Lord Brahma. Tatra Brahma tu Vigneyaha Purvokta Vidhaya Harihi. That Brahma mentioned here is Hari himself. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namavam Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Śrīmate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Nitinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschyati Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktarunda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So in the last class we discussed about how Bharat Maharaj was addicted to a deer. He got very much affectionate towards the deer, and since he got very much affectionate towards the deer, he has to take the deer birth in the next life, because he remembered the deer at the time of death. So by this we can understand that although a great personality, a spiritualist, may be very compassionate upon other living entities, that is the nature of a Vaishnava, Paradukha Dukhi, to be compassionate upon these sufferings of other living entities. But if that is applied to a wrong animal or anything, which cannot make any spiritual progress, so that may be the cause for our own fall down. If the compassion or mercy is not properly applied, it may result in a fall down of the practitioner himself. Many times we also go out, we meet many more people. Sometimes they are much more in Maya, and sometimes they may try to influence us. So there is a danger always. Although doctor is meant to treat the patient, there are all the chances while he is treating, he may also catch up some infection. That is, a doctor has to take a lot of precautions, right? I remember when we were in RS Samaj Road, at the time when there was a COVID. Some devotees, they caught this infection and they were admitted in the hospital. So there is a separate section dedicated for them. They are quarantined there. And the doctor who would go and treat them, he has to make so many preparations. He would put that full plastic, synthetic, dress, full mask, specs, whatnot, fully covered. Then he has to enter. Because before treating others, he has to protect himself. So similarly, when we go out, we want to preach Krishna consciousness or want to be compassionate upon others, first of all, we should be taking precaution to protect ourselves. Otherwise, there are all the chances that they may influence us against the principles of Krishna consciousness. So this is what we can learn from the life of Bharat Maharaj. So although we are compassionate, we should be very careful about it. But nonetheless, since he had practiced Krishna consciousness, Krishna gave him the remembrance of his past life. Although he was in the deer body, he could remember Krishna. And in next life, after the deer's life, he got a human body where he totally dedicated his life to remember Krishna. And this time when he was instructing a king, Rahugana, he was very careful. He was not attached. He was totally detached. Although he had insulted him many times, Rahugana, he tolerated all that, in a very detached way instructed, by which Rahugana himself became a great devotee once again. So further from this, Bhagavatam describes very wonderful things about the creation. It tells about how the different descendants of King Priyavrata appeared on the earth. It mentions the name of many such descendants, their names, everything in detail. Like there was one very nice king called as King Gaya, who led a very pious life. Further, he had his children, and these children, how they led a very religious life. Explaining in that parampara further, the whole creation has been very nicely explained. Jambu Dvipa. Jambu Dvipa is the place where we are all staying. So there are 9 Dvipas, one among them is this Jambu Dvipa. While describing about the different parts of the universe, it explains about Bhugolaka, means this Bhuloka, where we are all staying presently. The planetary system known as Bhumandala resembles a lotus flower, and its 7 islands resembles the whirl of that flower. The length and breadth of this island known as Jambudvipa, which is situated in the middle of the world, are 1 million yojanas, 8 million miles. Jambudvipa is round like the leaf of the lotus flower. So like that many descriptions are being given which are very astonishing. Correct? Further it says, amidst these divisions or varshas is the varsha named Ilavrata, which is situated in the middle of the whirl of this lotus flower. Within Ilavrata Varsha is a Sumeru mountain which is made of gold. Sumeru mountain is like the presicarp of the lotus-like Bhumandala planetary system. The mountain's height is same as the width of the Jambudvipa, or in other words, 100,000 yojanas, that is 800,000 miles. Of that, 16,000 yojanas are within the earth, and therefore the mountain's height above the earth is 84,000 yojanas. The mountain's width is 32,000 yojanas, and its summit is 16,000 yojanas at its base. So in this way it goes on giving more and more details about the length and breadth and different situation of the universes and planetary systems. So in order to understand all this, by understanding all this, what happens is our faith in Lord Krishna increases. The knowledge of Krishna starts with understanding his opulence, understanding how great is Lord Krishna. If you are not able to understand how great is Lord Krishna, we cannot engage in his devotional service. That Krishna explains in the Bhagavad Gita. In the Bhagavad Gita 10th chapter, Prabhupada very nicely explains about why we need to understand all this. I have come to do Bhakti of Krishna. What difference it will make if I know this yojana is this length, this is this much? What difference it makes? Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita very nicely in the 10th chapter, wherein he says about, in the 10th chapter also Krishna is explaining about his Aishwarya. Prabhashmi Shashi Surayoho, all that I am the effulgence coming from the sun and moon and all that. When he is explaining, Krishna says that he who knows in truth this glory and power of mine engages in unalloyed devotional service. Of this there is no doubt. Etam vibhutim yogam cha mama yo vetti tattvataha sovikalpena yogena yujjate natra samsayaha. So understanding the truth of the glory and power of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, we engage in his devotional service. In the purport, Prabhupada very nicely and scientifically explains that how by knowing the power of Krishna, how by knowing his glory, we will ultimately end up in his devotional service. Prabhupada says, the highest summit of spiritual perfection is to attain the knowledge of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Unless we are firmly convinced of the different opulence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, we cannot engage in his devotional service. That means, if at all we want to be engaged in the devotional service of the Lord, we should be firmly convinced about the power and opulence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then Prabhupada says, generally people know God is great, but they don't know how God is great. Correct? Here are the details. If one knows factually how the God is great, then naturally becomes surrendered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Prabhupada repeats. When one factually knows the opulence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he surrenders himself. This factual knowledge can be known from the description of Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. Only when we know, God is great, okay, he is great. Okay, that is his opulence. But if you know how God is great, then you will surrender to Krishna. Only when you surrender to somebody, then you will ask, what can I do for you? Correct? Then Prabhupada gives the example of how God is great. We can see, we have heard that this whole universe is regulated by great devatas like Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma, Indra, and many others, Chandra, Surya, they are all there. But all these devatas are acting under the direction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They cannot do anything without the order of the Supreme Lord, without His permission. That is His position. And then Prabhupada says, these are some of the opulence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then Prabhupada says, when one is firmly convinced of them, he accepts Krishna with great faith and without any doubt. And he engages in the devotional service. So only when we have great faith in the Supreme Personality of Godhead, without any doubt we accept Krishna, then only we will be able to engage in devotional service. All this particular knowledge is required in order to increase one's interest in the loving devotional service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One should not neglect to understand fully how great Krishna is. For by knowing the greatness of Krishna, one will be able to be fixed in sincere devotional service. That means to say, one side we have to cultivate the knowledge of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and other side we should engage in your seva. Seva, the knowledge of the Lord, and the seva, both complement each other for our progress in devotional service. Like for example, let us say one stranger come to your house. What will you do? You will talk to him at the doors only, right? The doorbell rings, you open the door. Sometime now door also you need not have to open. Within the door, one more door is there. Only small door you open, you see his face. What do you want? You will ask. And if you don't know, okay, aurilla ho gaya or something, you will send them off. But now let us say the doorbell rings and you open that small door within the door and you see that the Narendra Modi has come. What will happen to you? You will once again see whether really he has come. And many people tell us Modi has come, open. Then what will you do? You open the main door and you call him inside. Since you know who is the person, he is the leader of the whole nation, the leader of 130 crore people. So accordingly we'll treat him right. We'll try to offer the best in your kitchen, the food what you want. You'll ask him water and some chai and all other things you try to offer for him, right? If you're a devotee, you will not offer chai for him. You will offer some juice and then some breakfast, or depending upon what time you ask him, you will try to offer him some prasada. Correct? But now let us say, to the same house, some knocks the door. And you open the door within the door. And he says, he's a current bill wala. What you will do? Probably you may pay him there only and you send him off, right? You take the bill there only. You don't open the main door. You don't ask him to come and sit. You don't prepare some special juice or any breakfast or anything and feed him. You don't do all that. Come, okay, you send him off. So you know how, because you know how great the Prime Minister of India is, accordingly you treat him right. Similarly, knowledge of Krishna is also equally important. When you know Lord Krishna is who? Who is this Prime Minister of India in front of Supreme Lord? He's nothing, right? Because Krishna is the creator of millions and millions of Brahmas. We know that story of Brahma. Now when he approached Lord Vishnu in Dwaraka, Lord Krishna in Dwaraka, Krishna made millions of Brahmas come and pay obeisance to him. Our Brahma was humiliated because he was the shortest Brahma among everybody, only 4 heads. All others had 500, 10,000 million like that. So when we understand the greatness of Lord Krishna in this way, factually, see, having knowledge is one part, another is to have the faith or belief on that knowledge is another part. Just like in Iskcon Bangalore, once we arranged one Sanskrit scholars, one Sammelana, they all came, they quoted. I was curious what these people have read 40, 50 years of their life, Sanskrit and Gita, Upanishads, everything. Let us see how great their knowledge is. I went and sat there and I heard so many of them telling about analyzing Bhagavad Gita or Upanishads. They would quote some shlokas very eloquently. They would analyze, but they would only analyze saying that if the word iti is there, cha is there, if you give, there is Sanskrit one word, they have 10 meanings. This meaning you use, the meaning of the shloka will be like this. You use the meaning of this iti in this way, the shloka meaning changes like this. They only explain all that. But nowhere I heard anybody telling Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead, we are His servant, we are supposed to serve Him. Nobody could analyze. Although they are reading the Vedas, they have a knowledge. So just having knowledge is not all in all. You should have a knowledge which is coming in the parampara, and you should have the faith in that knowledge. Full faith. Although we make this statement very simple, if I ask you a question, who is Krishna? Please tell me in one word, who is Krishna? Everybody in Iskcon, everybody knows. Supreme Personality of Godhead, you will tell. But do we know the meaning of it? Do we have the faith, what it means, and are we acting on that platform? Supreme means asamordhva. There is nobody equal to him. There is nobody greater than him. Generally, you work in any office or anywhere, you are always aware of your boss. Correct? If you're in office, there are two kinds of boss for you. One is your immediate boss, one more is super boss. Correct? We are always aware of them. That is why you go to any organization, anybody, you ask who is your chairman, who is your president. No, you go to any place you go, you always want to be aware of the boss. Correct? In one small place where we are there, we are always aware of our boss. Imagine Krishna is the supreme for the whole creation, whole universe. Everybody reports to him. How great he should be. Still it's not striking us, correct? Supreme Personality, and that person is a person, it is not an impersonal object. Generally people think that behind this creation there is some power and all. No, it's a personality. And there are many personalities behind the creation. There's a Brahma is there, and there are many other devatas. No, he is head of all those gods. So there is no confusion. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But are we acting on that platform? When we forget about outside, Maya is there, you are not able to remember. Even being in the temple, are we aware of Supreme Personality of Godhead? Lord Krishna is there, there is an altar, there is a worship going on for him, and he is aware of all our activities. Are we aware? May or may not be right. So this knowledge about Lord Krishna, when we apply our faith to that knowledge, that Supreme Lord is Krishna, he is the one who is supplying life air to me. He is the one who is the cause of my very existence. In order to keep this human body intact, there are many criteria. If you go to any medical doctor, they will tell you nicely. You require so much of oxygen level, sugar level has to be so much, and the brain requires blood circulation, heart needs to be pumping, liver should be functioning, hundreds and thousands of criteria. So who is maintaining our all these levels? KMC is maintaining. NOPA is taking care. Nobody, right? Who is taking care of all this? Krishna is taking care of all these criteria for our existence. Yet we are not aware of Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this is the depth of Maya we have submerged. When we start reading about Supreme Personality of Godhead, when we start understanding Him with faith, faith means to believe. I have a trust. What Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, I have trust in these words. So investing our faith or trust is actual knowledge. Just a knowledge of knowing a shloka, just the knowledge of quoting some wonderful descriptions or analyzing shloka, that is not the real knowledge. Knowledge is to have the faith in the words of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is the real knowledge. So when we gain that kind of a knowledge through hearing Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, that is where we come to the position of devotional service. Because that is where we understand Krishna is great. Only when person we understand is great, we offer our service to him. And this Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita are explaining about the Jambu Dvipa, Bharata Varsha. It is so big. There's a big mountain which is 8,000 miles height. Same is its width. When it is explaining, it is not just explaining about the length and breadth of this thing. It is explaining finally the creator of this is who? Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is the main intention behind explaining all these things. So finally, it is not that Krishna has created and he has just left it there like that. No. After creating, Krishna personally is entering and maintaining it also. It is not that father constructs the house and just leaves for the wife and children to take care. No. He maintains the house also, right? Similarly, we can understand that how Lord Krishna is maintaining this universe through this shloka, when it is told to show mercy to his devotees in each of these 9 tracts of land, the Supreme Personality of Godhead known as Narayana expands himself in his quadruple principles of Vasudeva, Sankarshana, Pradyumna and Aniruddha. In this way, he remains near his devotees to accept his service. So how great is Supreme Personality of Godhead? He need not have to come to this material world at all. He is there in the spiritual world, getting the service from his devotee, is very happy there. Why he has to come to this material world? Any leela of Lord Krishna in this material world is only his mercy towards his devotees. As much as once in a year, President of India walks into the jail and he gives pardon to many of the jailers there. It is not that President of India is enjoying in the jail. No. Out of his causeless mercy, he goes there. He looks some good prisoners, law-abiding prisoners are there. He pardons them, whatever he cut short there, whatever term is there, pardons them. It is out of his mercy. Similarly, when Krishna comes to this world is compared to a jail, Durga, right? Krishna comes out of his causeless mercy so that he can reclaim all his souls back to the spiritual world. So we have to understand this mercy of Lord Krishna and accordingly reciprocate. If somebody gives anything to us, how do we reply? We tell thank you, right? Similarly, Krishna has given so many things we got to know now. The very cause for our existence is Lord Krishna. The land we are living in this world, the cause is Lord Krishna. Everything, the cause behind it is Lord Krishna. Having understood, we should be grateful to him, right? So how to show the gratitude towards Lord Krishna? We can show gratitude towards Lord Krishna by saying thank you to him. How do we say thank you to him? When you say Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. There cannot be any better way to show our gratitude or thank you to Lord Krishna than chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Because the very meaning of Hare Krishna Mahamantra is, my dear Lord Krishna, please engage me in your seva. When we are seeking the seva of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna is very much pleased. When Lord Krishna is pleased, that is the best way we pay our gratitude towards him. So that is why understanding Lord Krishna beyond any doubts and acting on that knowledge becomes the paramount criteria for our progress in Krishna consciousness. Like for example, we hear something about Lord Krishna and we start practicing that practice will, abhyasa leads to realization by the mercy of Lord Krishna. So anything we want to become expert, we have to practice. Now we understood that by hearing all the knowledge, we have to surrender to Lord Krishna. So if at all you want to become surrendered more and more to Lord Krishna, we should hear attentively about Lord Krishna more and more. That is why reading of Srila Prabhupada books becomes very, very important. By reading more and more Srila Prabhupada books, we understand more and more about Lord Krishna. When you understand more and more about Lord Krishna, then you become more and more close to him. Just like let us say newly married couple. They may not know each other very much, right? Girl is from some other house, some other place. Boy is from some other house, some other place. But when they come together, no, the girl will start observing the boy. Boy will start observing the girl. No, they will understand, oh, this is his liking. Oh, this he doesn't like. If I do like this, he will not like. They try to understand each other, right? And eventually they, let us say when they are married after 5 years or 10 years, how will be their relationship? They know very well each other, right? So the wife knows very well that my husband gets up at this time and he gets up, he wants this, he will do this, he will do this. If we do this, he will like. If he doesn't do this, he will like. Hence their bondage, their relationship goes on deepening and deepening and deepening more and more, right? Why? Because they have consciously put effort to know each other. Of course, here no textbook is given, notebook is not given. You read this and then you understand and you act. It is on the ground, you sense the person and you start acting, correct? But since Shri Krishna Nama Adina Bhaved Grahim Indriyahi Sevon Mukvehi Jivadam Swayameva Spuratyadaha. We cannot understand Krishna through our senses in that way. Okay, I will go see Krishna today, then accordingly I will start acting. That becomes speculation. Oh, Krishna Prabhu standing is giving a smile to me today. So whatever I have done today is right. I have gone to Deepa Comforts, I have eaten idli dosa. So Krishna is smiling today. So this is correct. No, we cannot speculate like that. We cannot understand Krishna through this covered senses and the mind. How we can understand Krishna? Prabhupada tells. Acharyas have told, authorities have told us. This is how we have to serve Krishna. This is what you do. Krishna becomes very happy. Through them, when we understand and we start acting on that knowledge, we start becoming very dear to Lord Krishna. So the most important element for us to go more and more towards Krishna is to follow the instructions of the Acharya. Acharyas have told like this. Okay, I have understood that Prabhupada has told this. He has told chant 16 rounds. So if I attentively, hear attentively, when I start acting upon that, you start becoming more and more close towards Krishna. Prabhupada has told, you should eat only prasadam, don't eat bhoga. You have heard this. And in your own circumstance, how much ever is possible, you are sincerely going and trying that. You become very dear to Lord Krishna. You can please Krishna at most by following the instruction of his devotee, pure devotee Srila Prabhupada. Krishna becomes very pleased. Krishna will see, oh, this devotee is following my representative's instructions very well. Krishna becomes very happy. Just like India was colonized by British, right? Those times, every time Queen, she wouldn't come to implement the law and order or policies. Whom she would send? She would send somebody called Viceroy. When Viceroy comes, you would be given the same treatment, welcome ceremony and maryada, everything, as it was due to the Queen Elizabeth herself. Because this Viceroy would carry the instructions and the message and will of the Queen of the United Kingdom. So that is why that maryada was given. Viceroy was not the Queen. He was not the premier of the United Kingdom. But since he is carrying the instruction, the same maryada is given. Similarly, the spiritual master, he is not Supreme Personality of Godhead, but he is a representative of the Supreme Personality of Godhead carrying his message. That is why we have to give the same value, same maryada what we give due to Krishna. That is why the spiritual master he is called as the Supreme Personality of Servant Godhead. Prabhupada explains on this thing. So if you can understand this position of the Supreme Lord and give the due respect to the spiritual master, then only we can progress. Otherwise, to consider the deities, as it is told here, Prabhupada says, Arche Vishnu Shiladhir Gurushu Naramatihi. No one should treat the deity in the temple as stone or metal, nor should one think that the spiritual master is an ordinary human being. Even while chanting the 10 offenses, what is the third offense we say? Yeah. Or to think spiritual master is an ordinary person is one of the offense. So when we understand the position of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and the position of the spiritual master, then we will be able to make steady progress in your spiritual life. Otherwise, to follow these instructions of Bhagavatam, to implement progress in our Krishna consciousness, being away from Maya, it will all only be dream. Although many times if you are not able to practice the principles of Krishna consciousness due to whatever circumstance we are in, but if we know the position of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, if you know the position of the spiritual master, we have that respect, awe and reverence, bhakti towards them. Eventually Krishna will create a circumstance, he will give us the strength, we will be able to follow the instruction of the spiritual master, because we are not averse to the instruction of the Guru and Krishna. So the attitude matters the most in one's progress in Krishna consciousness. So Lord Krishna is so merciful that he is not only coming himself in different avatars, he is coming as Archa Vigraha also. That is why there is one word called as Archa Avatar. Archa Avatar means the Supreme Lord descending in this world in the form of the deity. There is no difference between the deity and the Supreme Lord himself. Absolutely no difference. Once one nice pastime happened in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's time. There was a great devotee of Lord Chaitanya, Gadadhar Pandit, we know. Shivasadi Kauravakta, Dvaita Gadadhara we call. So he had the deity of Gaurnita, he used to worship them. And once Chaitanya Mahaprabhu visited Gadadhar Pandit. And when he visited Gadadhar Pandit, when Gadadhar Pandit got to know about this, that Mahaprabhu is coming, he told his wife to make wonderful, different kind of preparations to be offered to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So wife also is a very good cook. She makes very nice items. And all that was, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes, Gadadhar Pandit personally feeds Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu. Age-wise, Gadadhar Pandit was very elderly to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Hence, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would take him as his father or elderly, like a guru like that, a teacher like that. So, Gadadhar Pandit feeds them very nicely. They would say, enough. I know, my dear Lord, how much you can eat. And you would serve even more. So like that, they were totally fed very much. And when Chaitanya Prabhu time came for him to leave, Gadadhar Pandit says, no, you should not go. You should stay here only. You should not go anywhere. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, he stays for 1 or 2 days because Gadadhar Pandit is a great devotee. And then once again, after 2-3 days, they will tell, I have to go. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, no, you stay for some more time. Then he will make Lord stay and he will once again offer nice dishes, everything. And later Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, I have to go, please leave me. They say, no, you stay for some more time. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, no, I have a mission to achieve in this world, to spread the holy name of the Lord. I cannot stay in one place and enjoy like this. No, my dear Lord, you stay. Please accept some more day. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, you have my deities here, Gaurnita, you worship them. It is as good as worshipping us. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says in this way, and he wanted to leave. But Gadadhar Pandit is still not ready to leave Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So then what happens? You have to stay with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Says, okay, I will be there here. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu, they go inside the altar. And when they go inside the altar, the deities who are the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nitya Gauranga, they start walking out. When they start walking out, then Gadadhar Pandit will run behind these deities who are walking out. No, please, you should not go. You come inside. So when they come, deities come inside. Then this original Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda, they will start walking out. When they no, come, they he try to call. Then this deity, many times back and forth will happen. He will not know who is the deity and who is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He totally gets confused. So then by this, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu teaches him a lesson that there is no difference between me and my deities. And Gadadhar Pandit understands this, and then with a happy mood, he sends off Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. By this, we can understand there is no difference between the Lord and his deities. It depends upon how much we have faith in the Supreme Lord, how much we surrender to the Supreme Lord, how much with devotion we worship him. Depends upon that. There was one great devotee, Sakshi Gopal. History is filled up with instances where deities have reciprocated to his devotees, wherein the Lord himself walked hundreds of miles to a Sakshi for his devotee. And we know Kshirachor Gopinath, wherein the deity stole the sweet rice for the sake of his great devotee Madhavendra Puri. But if you go little more back into your life, especially who are all coming to temple here, for each one of you, they have personally reciprocated. I can't comment on that. I cannot tell they reciprocated to you like this, you like this. But you can derive your own story with Krishna Balaram. As much as Sakshi Gopal happened to one devotee, and for Kshir Chor Gopinath happened to one more devotee. Like that, Krishna has one individual story with each one of you. Yeah. So when we remember about Krishna's reciprocation to me in my life, Krishna, I was rotting in this material world, being in Maya. I don't know, out of so many people, how you chose me to give your mercy upon me. So when you understand Krishna's mercy playing a vital role in your own life, that is real knowledge. And your bondage towards Krishna should go on increasing. And you should remember all those things. You should cherish those pastimes. I would say reciprocation of Krishna, not pastime. Reciprocation of Krishna in your life. So then your attachment to Krishna Balaram goes on increasing more and more, more and more. So much so that whenever you are going, somewhere you slip and you fall, you are about to fall, you will not tell Appa, Amma, Avu, you don't tell. What you will tell? You will tell Krishna Balaram. So if at all we want to progress in our spiritual life, this kind of attachment to Lord Krishna is very, very important. Krishna is reciprocating every moment in your life. Especially somebody has taken up to Krishna consciousness, seriously practicing, in whatever level we are in, Krishna is every moment reciprocating. Otherwise, can you imagine having an access to devotional item? Is that so easy? Is there any other Krishna Balaram temple in this part of the world? Krishna Balaram together. Krishna is there, Balaram is there, of course. Balaram together is there. Nithai Gauranga. Is there any place where you can come have a group of devotees and chant Hare Krishna together? You go to your friend circle, family circle, other professional circle. They all are in different route. They are only, in fact, you go amidst them, our conviction to Krishna conscious goes away. I have seen this happening. Sometimes somebody comes to Krishna conscious, nicely they start practicing. For due to some break in between, they go to their wherever, holiday or some 15, 20 days, 1 month they go. They come back, they have to start from fresh their spiritual life, the connection to the Lord, all it has become very, very, just like a charge battery power. No, you don't charge for 2-3 days, it becomes slow. Once again you have to charge like that. So Krishna is reciprocating so much in your life. So we should be very thankful to Lord Krishna that, my dear Lord, among all these people, why is that you chose me? Why is that you blessed me only? So this is your great mercy upon me. So when we start cherishing these Krishna's reciprocations in your life, show gratitude by following the instruction of Acharya. There is no other better way to please Lord Krishna than to follow the instruction of the spiritual master. That is the only qualification Dhruva Maharaj had. When he went to the forest to see Lord Narayana, he doesn't want to realize Narayana, serve him, do pure devotional service. He wanted a bigger kingdom than his father. That was his wish, to fulfill that whatever he was ready to do. But he went to this thing. He didn't go for pure devotional service. Yet he could realize the Lord in just 6 months. Why? Because he sincerely followed the instruction of the Narada Muni. Even Prahlad Maharaj became a great Bhagavata devotee. Why? Because he heard from Narada Muni the instruction of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. That is why Lord Narasimha appeared. Anywhere, any avatar of the Supreme Lord or any pastime is happening, the hand of a devotee has to be there behind it. Krishna will never find alone at all. Prabhupada says. If nothing is there, finally Krishna is there, at least with a flute and one cow behind. So if at all we want to progress in Krishna consciousness, we have to follow the instruction of the spiritual master in the association of the devotees. Not that I'll go alone, I'll follow, okay, Prabhupada, whatever I've told in my home, I will chant 16 rounds, I'll have deities, I'll offer everything. All that you can do. But if at all your conviction has to increase, if at all you want to progress in your spiritual life, Tadera Charana Sevi Bhakta Sanevas. You have to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the association of devotees. Then only your progress is quick. Of course, practicing Krishna consciousness association of devotees is not so easy, because sometimes so many challenges, frictions will happen, that will happen, this will happen, but that is also good. Don't avoid. If some amongst the devotees, if there is a friction or if there is inconvenience, don't avoid that. It is just like diamond. Before you polish them, how they are just like any regular stone only, right? But then if they are put in one box and with high pressure they are made to collide with each other, that's how they start shining, right? Similarly, Iskcon is like that box, and our practicing of Krishna consciousness, Prabhupada instruction is like a high pressure. And in that high pressure, we all rub with each other, we will start shining. You may be doing one service in one team of devotees in one way, and you may not feel very comfortable doing in that service. Leader may not be very cooperative, or he is very strict, he will not allow you anywhere to go. You may feel little inconvenience, but it is good for us. When this friction is there, you allow yourself to be malleable in Krishna consciousness. Of course, you should be careful if somebody is taking into Maya. So long that is not there, we are in Krishna conscious, that collision is good for our progress in Krishna consciousness. Rather than going and colliding somewhere in material world, collision has to happen. Choice is you are in the box of Iskcon or you are in the box of Maya world. In the Maya world you go, it is a settling of scores of your karma, and more bandhana will happen, bondage will happen. Bondage. But you come to Iskcon, your bad karma is used for collision, but for your shining, but for your own advantage. It's wonderful. Now I have a debt, but it is used for my profit. So is that kind of equation is there in this material world anywhere? Nowhere there, right? Your debt will only pull you down. How much ever you earn, you have to pay your principal money. Money will go only for that only many a times, right? But here it is not like that. Even our karma is used for our advantage and progress in Krishna consciousness. Only we should have a firm conviction and a firm belief that whatever is happening to me is by the blessings of Lord Krishna. And we should allow ourselves, Krishna and Guru, to mold ourselves in Krishna consciousness in the way they want. So in this way, when we strictly practice Krishna consciousness, strictly adhere to the instruction of Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, we will swiftly progress in our Krishna consciousness. So in this way, we should be grateful to Lord Krishna for whatever role he has played in my progress in Krishna consciousness, and be grateful to him. And once again, of course, we should not go to another extreme. Okay, only Krishna, only Krishna. There are some people, only they come to temple, only pay obeisance, they will not look here and there. Sometimes we will tell, okay, you want to tell something also, they will don't talk, they will go. They will only Krishna, direct to Krishna, go back. That will also not help you to progress in Krishna consciousness. Coming to the next level, we go to only to Prabhupada, only Prabhupada we say. But any other disciples of Prabhupada, no, I don't care for them. That is also not useful. Prabhupada says, how much fool you are. I am trying to teach through my disciples to you. You are not listening to them. How will you make progress? Correct? So even in Vaishnavas also, there are senior Vaishnavas, there are equal Vaishnavas, there are juniors. Accordingly, we should relate with them. For the seniors, we should be very respectful, ready to take instructions from them. And on the people who are equal with us, so we should be very friendly with them, very cooperative, work together with them. And somebody who is junior, we should be very compassionate, very helpful, very considerate towards them. So when we relate with all these devotees in this nice way, our progress in Krishna consciousness happens very quickly. Then we start relishing the process of Krishna consciousness. So by this I conclude. Śrīmad Bhāgavatam ki jai, Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai.